You can walk away from a training program with exactly $0 in student debt and step right into a six-figure compensation package. That is the actual financial upside of a union electrical apprenticeship. Here in South Carolina, the Charleston Electrical Training Alliance is the oldest established program in the state. Getting through it requires putting in 8,000 hours of strictly monitored on-the-job training. The payoff for that labor is substantial. Graduating journeymen earn total packages, combining hourly wages, comprehensive health insurance, and local and national pensions of around $140,000 annually to build out the region's infrastructure. Because the financial reward is so high, demand for these spots heavily outstrips supply. You are entering an elimination tournament where only the top percentile makes the cut. The data and application steps we are looking at apply specifically to Charleston Local 776. That jurisdiction covers construction projects across Charleston, Columbia, and Florence. If you live in or around Columbia, you have a blind spot to watch out for. Columbia is also home to IBEW Local 382, so if that is your specific zip code, you need to verify which local union's process you are actually entering. No matter the local, the system is designed to thin the herd. Hundreds of initial applications are poured into the top. Those numbers get slashed at the aptitude test, cut down again after the panel interviews, leaving a very narrow pool of ranked candidates at the bottom. You do not have to be bad with tools to lose your spot. Applicants are routinely disqualified on minor paperwork technicalities before they ever touch a single wire. The committee won't even look at your file until you clear absolute, non-negotiable prerequisites. First is the academic filter. You must submit an official high school transcript proving you earned a passing credit in Algebra 1, along with your diploma or GED. If you failed or skipped math in high school, your application stops here. You will have to spend your own time and money passing a recognized post-secondary tech math class just to get back to the starting line. Second is the physical filter. You must be demonstrably capable of lifting 75 pounds and working in completely uncontrolled environments, which means brutal heat and freezing rain. Third is the financial filter. Tuition is technically free, but you are still responsible for your own books and tools. You need to budget between $300 and $600 out of pocket every single semester for administrative fees. Finally, the readiness filter. You must pass a mandatory 10-panel drug test at a stipulated facility, and you pay for it yourself. Because applications are accepted year-round, you have to be clean and ready to work the day you submit your paperwork. Passion for the trade won't save you here. Failing to meet or budget for any of these upfront requirements means your application is instantly terminated. Once your paperwork clears, you hit the first active elimination stage, the Electrical Training Alliance Aptitude test. This is where the majority of applicants fail. The testing environment is strictly controlled. You are put on a rigid timer, and calculators are completely banned from the room. This data visualization breaks down the test structure. You face an algebra and functions section with 33 questions to solve in 46 minutes. That is followed by a reading comprehension section, demanding 36 questions in 51 minutes. The training center grades your performance on a strict scale from 1 to 9. To survive this cut and move on to the interview phase, you have to hit a minimum threshold score of 4. Scoring a 3 or lower triggers an automatic disqualification. You are immediately placed in a penalty box, mandated to wait 3 to 6 months before you are even allowed to submit a new application. The exact length of that waiting period fluctuates depending on the local union you apply to, but the punishment for failing always costs you months of career progress. This test is a brutal gatekeeper. If you walk into the room academically unprepared, it will penalize you with lost time and lost wages. If your math holds up, you advance to the final evaluation hurdle, a 10-minute panel interview facing down representatives from the union and the electrical contractors. They are evaluating your character and reliability under pressure. The panel relies heavily on behavioral questions, asking you to detail a specific situation, the actions you took, and the exact result you delivered. When those 10 minutes are up, the committee takes your interview performance and combines it with your aptitude test score to generate your final applicant grade. This leads to the biggest misconception in the entire process. Passing the interview does not mean you have a job. It means you have earned a spot in a ranking pool that stays active for 2 years. The JATC only brings in new apprentices when contractors have a demand for labor. When they need workers, they pull strictly from the top of the list, starting at rank 1 and moving downward. But that list is incredibly volatile. Apprenticeship applications are accepted year-round. When a new batch of applicants finishes their interviews, anyone with a higher combined score is inserted directly above the existing candidates. You can literally move backward in line. You might sit at rank 5 on a Tuesday and drop to rank 8 by Friday, just by waiting for the phone to ring. Earning an apprenticeship requires surviving an agonizing waiting game. Your rank is only secure until the next highly prepared candidate sits in the interview chair. Look at the strict prerequisites, the math gates, and the unpredictable ranking ladder. Who is actually built to survive this? This quadrant chart plots an applicant's patience and financial buffer against their willingness to prepare academically. The first major disqualifier is a lack of financial runway. If you need a guaranteed paycheck by Monday, a 1 to 2 year waitlist will break you before you get a call. The second major disqualifier is academic avoidance. The mandatory high school algebra credit and the timed calculator-free aptitude test effectively gatekeeps anyone who refuses to sit down and study. The people who actually clear this gauntlet fit into the top right quadrant. We call them the strategic optimizers. Optimizers do not rely on high school memories. They spend the months before their application running through Khan Academy modules and tech math courses to guarantee they crush the aptitude test. They walk into their 10-minute interview carrying a physical portfolio of past projects, trade-related experience, and recommendation letters to prove their reliability to the panel. And financially, they secure a stable bridge job. They make sure they can pay bills while they ride out the volatility of the ranking ladder. Entering the SC IBEW JATC requires the mindset of a long-term investor. The program rewards patience and rigorous preparation with a lucrative, debt-free career, but only for those who successfully navigate the gauntlet.